Welcome to Women's Rugby Rundown 194 for March 24th through the 30th. Round two of the Guinness Women's Six Nations delivered big moments, with France staying unbeaten thanks to a bonus point win over Scotland and a rare drop goal from Pauline Bourdon-Sansus. England routed Wales in front of a record crowd, and Ireland earned their first away victory since 2021 against Italy. Spain kicked off their European Championship with a strong win over Portugal. Over in Hong Kong, New Zealand claimed back-to-back golds in the HSBC Sevens. Australia took second. Canada edged France for third, setting the stage for a tense final stop in Singapore this weekend. Meanwhile, Kenya heads to Krakow for the World Rugby Challenger Series April 11th through the 12th, riding momentum from consecutive wins and eyeing one last shot of promotions to the Sevens in LA. That and more as we round up all the global premier and cup competitions worldwide. I'm Wendy, and I'm here to bring you the latest in women's rugby. This is your Women's Rugby Rundown, and we're about to kick off. We'll start with Sevens news. New Zealand claimed their second straight gold in Hong Kong, and actually they've won it in 23, 24, 25. Australia took silver. Canada edged France for bronze. We've got one stop left in Singapore. The fight for the Sevens grand final has definitely tightened. So with the standings, the top eight will move on to the Grand Sevens finale, and then, of course, they'll crown the champion of the series. And so that'll be really exciting in LA. But I think the real story here is that bottom 8 through 12. So 8 and ninth is that relegation promotion playoffs. We can see Great Britain's got 37 points. Didn't do so well in Hong Kong. They're going to really need a great performance in Singapore to make sure they stay above that line. And Brazil has been doing better. China, Ireland, Spain would basically have to win the entire tournament to even get up above that line. At the conclusion of Hong Kong, we got the pools for Singapore. We're back to that four-pool format we last saw in Cape Town in December. So only the pool winners will advance to the semis, making every match a must-win. Pool A is going to be led by the League Series leaders, New Zealand. They'll take on Brazil and China. Pool B, Australia is in second place, Japan and Spain. Pool C, this is a tough one, Canada, United States, and Great Britain. Pool D, France, Fiji, Ireland. Would also say that's a pretty tough one for those teams that are really looking to keep on top of that promotion and relegation. The last piece to the Grand Sevens finale in LA will be the results of the 2025 Sevens Challenger, and the last stop for that, April 11th, 12th in Krakow. Kenya's been doing very well. They've won all of the tournaments, but they have had some competition in Belgium and Argentina and Czechia. But what really matters here is the top teams from this competition punch their ticket to the grand finale playoff tournament in Los Angeles, and they'll face those bottom four teams from the Sevens series. So that Great Britain, we're talking about Ireland and China and Spain, that's who these guys will play. So really interesting to watch this tournament next weekend and then see who's going to make their way to LA. We'll switch over to 15's news. Let's take a look at the round two of Guinness Women's Six Nations. France ran in 4 tries, including 3 in 7 minutes to defeat Scotland 38-15. They remain unbeaten, and they grabbed that bonus point as well. We talked about the drop goal by Bourdon-Sansus. It's the first one since 2011, and it's only the 7th ever in the competition, with the last one coming against England. The Red Roses ran in 11 tries, including a Kildun hat trick to rout Wales 67-12 in front of a record crowd at Principality Stadium, and they also earned a bonus point win. The attendance of 21,186 obliterated the previous record for a Welsh women's sporting event on home soil. Lastly, Ireland stormed to a 54-12 win over Italy and Parma, securing their first away victory since 2021 and first over Italy since 2022. Spain opened their European Championship title defense with a 19-7 win over Portugal, scoring all 3 tries in the first half, including a double from Claudia Pena, before holding off on a late push from the home side. Next up in the European Championship, Portugal will face off against Netherlands this weekend. Spain has a bye. The USA Eagles coaching staff announced their 2025 spring player pool selections. They've got a match coming up April 26th, USA versus Japan in LA, the first of a couple as they prepare for the 2025 Rugby World Cup. But some really fun, interesting names here. We've got a lot of Sevens crossover, Nicole Heverland, Ilona Maher, and Cheta Emba, and then a couple of WER players that may get international debuts. Now over to Premier and Club news. The Bull Daisies made it 3 straight women's Premier Division titles, outlasting DHL Western Province 46-31 and a 12-try thriller to close out their 2025 season. Round 2 of Women's Elite Rugby saw Denver Onyx make a statement with a 63-7 win over the Bay Breakers. Boston Banshees stayed perfect with a 36-10 victory over TC Gemini, and New York wrapped the weekend with a 48-17 win over Chicago. Here's the updated standings for WER. We've got Boston Banshees at the top, 10 points, undefeated. New York Exiles got 7 points. TC Gemini, 5 points. Denver with their first win this weekend, 5 points. And then Chicago and Bay Breakers hanging in there at the bottom. The action just keeps rolling for WER. Got to get through this week. Round 3, we'll see Denver Onyx taking on the New York Exiles. This one is going to be the game of the week for us. Can't wait to see that one. Then Bay Breakers will take on TC Gemini. And on Sunday, we'll see Chicago Tempest taking on the Boston Banshees. The postseason for USA Club is coming into focus. We'll take a look at Atlantic D1. Nova has already locked in their spot with 2 weekends of play remaining before we can fill out the rest of this bracket. In Pacific, we're still waiting on the actual matchup and a couple of the teams to be finalized, but we've got a pretty good idea. Pacific Northwest will be Seattle or Orsu, and then in SoCal, San Diego Surfers or Tempe. NorCal Life West is the only one in there, so they're through, and then Frontier should be Utah or Black Ice. For the Northern Super Regional, they held it in November because they play a fall schedule, so we already know the Metropolis Valkyries are through to the Final Four. In the Gulf Coast, Quins are through and Sharks are through. They'll play each other for a championship on April 12th. They're unique, just like Northern, where there are no other women's D1 competition in the area, so they both get a seed straight to the Final Four. In D2, if we take a look at the Atlantic Super Regional, Worcester and New Haven have already qualified. Capital and EPRU hold their finals April 12th. For the Gulf Coast, we're almost there. We got some results this weekend that we'll be updating this week. If you take a look at the seedings, we're just waiting on Carolinas. The South wrap their regular season very soon. Florida and Red River will hold their finals on April 12th. In Northern, we've got 2 of the teams since they play in the fall. Grand Rapids and Rochester have punched their tickets. Rocky Mountain finishes league play April 5th, and Mid-America semifinals are set for April 12th. Pacific is really close as well. The semifinals for Pacific and SoCal are April 5th. NorCal wraps league play April 12th, and Southwest finals are set for April 12th. In D3, there is no real super regional, but the Atlantic region is holding their own super championship. We think that's really cool. We'll have 4 unions, 1 bracket, and 1 shot at the D3 title. Portland and Union are both through, and we'll get EPRU and Capital teams very soon. All that will lead into the 2025 USA Club 15s National Championships, May 16th through the 18th in Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll have Men's Division 1, Women's Division 1, Men's Division 2, Women's Division 2, and Men's Division 3. As mentioned a little bit ago, Women's Division 3 does not lead to a national championship at this time. That does it for our video today. There's actually quite a bit of news on our site that we couldn't fit in. Check it out at yscrugby.com. Never miss an episode of Women's Rugby Rundown by subscribing on Spotify, Patreon, YouTube, or any of your favorite social media platforms.